Jason Casarez here at the RVCA headquarters, and we're here with the one and only BJ Penn. BJ, how are you doing?
How's it going, man? I'm all right. Just up here in California, training at the Ruka gym. My brother's getting ready for a fight on August 27th. He's gonna make his MMA debut, so we're up here with Parillo and just hanging out, watching Danny Perez get some work in today. So having a good time.
Talk about that. Your brother's going to make his pro MMA debut. He's keeping the fighting family legacy going. How do you feel about your brother turning pro?
I think it's good. He said, he's more into computers and different things, but he's done jiu-jitsu his whole life too. So, I think everything's gonna be good. I think it's a learning process, and I think I think he's gonna go through all the things that a fighter goes through, getting ready for a fight, the nerves and all those things. So, I think it's gonna keep him get some good motivation on him and keep him straight arrow, straight ahead.
We've the fans have missed you. We saw you last in your fight with John Fitch, a fight that a lot of fans thought you won. Uh, Talk about that fight and where you're at right now as far as the welterweight picture.
Okay. Well, the fight, as far as it goes, we, it ended up in a draw. I've talked about it before, but there's not much I'm gonna comment on it. On it now, it's happened. It's done. It is what it is. And we've been trying to talk to the UFC about setting up me and John Fitch. But I don't know if the UFC is excited to set up that fight. At the end of the day, they're gonna pull the trigger. I think they want me to fight Carlos Condit. I got no problem with that, and I'm just waiting on the UFC as of this point.
If that's a fight that should happen, Carlos just came off a big win. Obviously you're in a good place in the welterweight division. Uh, Talk about that fight if it potentially happens. Is it a fight that you can get excited about?
I'm definitely I'm excited to fight anybody that I get in the cage with. I'm back in the welterweight division. I have one win and one draw, so I would love to get another win under my belt. And Carlos, he has some great fights. He just fought a couple great fights, couple of fights ago. So I'm just I'm excited as ever. And Carlos, he's one of the top guys right now. So he's a guy that you have to beat if you want to be considered a champion.
It's kind of funny because over the last month, a lot of things have happened in the welterweight division, and every time there was a fight, because John Fitch was obviously out because of an injury, and we're hearing he's not going to be back until about September to start training. Every scenario started presenting who can fight BJ for a title eliminator. So it was like, the Nate Marquardt versus Rick Story, and then that fight fell out because of Nate's problems with the athletic commission. And then it was like, well, if Rick Story wins, he might be a potential fight for BJ. And then all of a sudden, it's Carlos comes off a big win, and now he's the front runner. How does that feel from your perspective? Like you're seeing all these guys, and you kind of have an idea of what's going on, but you're not sure who might be next.
I know I've watched it all unfold. I was sitting there for the Marquardt and Story fight and thinking, I better take some notes. I could be fighting the winner of this, and then that fight's off, and then Story ends up losing. Gets getting upset from Brenneman, and then so I'm just sitting around. So it's just like whatever comes up next, and then Carlos had that amazing win the other night, and I'm like, you know what, that's probably the guy we're gonna end up in the ring with.
You had an injury that you had to deal with also, but that's what postponed your fight with Fitch, the rematch. How do you feel now? Talk about how you physically feel, and when you'll get back into training.
Yeah, my shoulder is coming along. I still have some aches and some pains, but it's coming along. I'm constantly rehabbing it and working out, trying to take the best care I can of my body. And as far as that goes, I think 4 months, around October 29th or whatever that is, 3 months and 3 weeks. I think that should be enough time to get my shoulder ready to go.
Awesome. And so about October 29th, is that when you'll be able to start training again, or do you see that you'll be ready to go around that time to fight?
Yeah, I could see myself being ready to fight on October 29th.
Nice. That would probably put you on the same card with the Nick Diaz GSP fight. That would set up a nice picture for the welterweight division. Can you talk about that fight? I mean, you as a fellow welterweight, what do you see there in that fight?
I see Diaz, as far as like trading combinations, I see Diaz winning that all day. On the bottom, Diaz is good at jiu-jitsu and stuff. And Diaz is probably, I'm sure his wrestling is okay. It's pretty good, Diaz's wrestling. But GSP, that's his strength, So it's kind of like Diaz is well, GSP's greatest strength is kind of like an area that Diaz needs to work on. But I could see this fight going either way. You know what I mean? If it's a finish, I'd probably say Diaz. If it's a decision, I'd probably say GSP.
A guy like Nick was is a guy that's grown before our own eyes. He's a guy that was on your undercards when you were headlining, and when you were in your lightweight reign, and then talk about how seeing him grow and where he's at now as a fighter.
No, amazing. It's amazing his dedication. He surrounded himself with all the right people, and and then he was doing all those long distance cardio things. So he's in such great shape. He's a force to be reckoned with in I think probably anywhere from 155 to 185. He's the real deal. I got a lot of respect for Nick.
Yourself, you work with Jason Parillo. It's shown in some of your best fights, like where you've went ahead and it went on a run in that lightweight defenses, versus Diego Sanchez, Sean Shirk, you name it. There was some highlight reel stuff there. Talk about like what it is to work with Jason and how it helps your boxing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he knows this is a game of inches. We sit there and we talk about it all the time. I mean, and besides from the physical part of boxing, of course, I mean that's the biggest. I mean, one of the biggest areas he helps me in. But the other side, I would have to say motivationally too. He's a very good motivator, very good talker. It can make you believe in yourself, and all those things are important.
Any message that you have for your fans and everybody, everybody that supports you and looks forward to seeing you back?
I just want to thank all my fans for supporting me over the years. Thank you to all the fans who are not my fans but just support MMA. Thanks to you guys too for supporting the sport. And besides that, I just want to say hi to my family, and that's it.
And can you make mention again also when we can expect to see your brother fight?
Yeah, Reagan, he's looking to fight August 27th in Hawaii at the Blaisdell.
Awesome. BJ, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to your next fight.
Thank you.